And this is Marginone, and here's my review for Captain America number 608. There's going to be some spoiler reviews, so if you haven't read the book, just come back later. Now, this is basically Baron Zemo's revenge against Captain America or Bucky Cap. Now, I think the art has a very unusual feel to it, in that it looks modern, but at the same time it has this weird retro look to it. And you can see it in the fight between Captain America, Black Widow, and the new Wasp. While parts of it look like modernized, especially with the fight sequence, but when you look at Natasha's hair, especially her face and that kind of situation here, it kind of has this really old feel. Even her hairstyle, it looks really old. The Wasp costume is up to date, but it kind of has this weird mixed feel vibe to it. Well, I mean, in case you can't figure it out, those two beat the Wasp. The Hornet. I don't know why I said Wasp. Sorry about that. So they go to the raft to interrogate her. And, there's Luke Cage there, since he's the warden. And they have their talk to her. And then there's, what's his name? The fixer guy. And they want to make sure about the Beetle outfit and stuff like that. And Bucky gets a little agitated with the woman because she's not quite giving the responses that they're looking for. And this is where she basically indicates that she knew that this was Bucky Cap. And he's kind of freaking out about it, because you have to figure out if she knows, who else knows. And, obviously she's crazy. Now, this is an important page right here, in that we learn that the Fixer is working with Zemo still. Because Baron Zemo he's basically checking up on her, and wants to make sure what she's saying, what she's not saying type thing. But for the most part, it doesn't seem that he cares that much. And he also basically gives her some further instructions. Now, what I'm kind of curious about is how they're going to affect this into the Thunderbolt comic, if they ever will even cross the two together. So, seeing here, even then here, this looks old. Older style. So anyways, Bucky Cap goes home with Natasha, and the minute he gets back to the land, then these reporters are there, and they're wanting to know. They're starting to ask questions, and of course Bucky Cap doesn't fare very well. And it's all over the news about how, leaked footage with him being Winter Soldier, how he was a traitor, and, do they really want him as Captain America type thing. And Captain America, Falcon gets out of bed, says, he needs to fix this. Now, this is my problem that I have with this. Now, I understand Bucky is out of touch with the way things run today. But he was a super spy, in a sense you can say. He was a ghost. And the way he gets played at times just kind of makes me go, shouldn't you have a little better judgment as to how to handle a situation rather than just go off half-cocked all the time? Because if, as a super spy who, for the most part, wasn't seen, to go off half-cocked doesn't make sense, because that would mean he wouldn't have a plan, he wouldn't be able to follow through with things, and he'd be found out eventually, type thing. And the footage that they had was basically a training video, which would have made sense, because somebody on his side would have filmed that, and he would have known about it. Now, with the overall direction of the story, I think that you have to eventually acknowledge the fact that Captain America is Bucky Cap and not Steve Rogers. And I think it's a good idea that they are bringing it out, and naturally the reaction would be, the fact that he was a super spy for the Russia, then, there should be consequences for that. Now, what I'm thinking is the mistake is a little bit how it's done. To me, it seems like it's kind of like expected, as a reader. I mean, maybe I kind of read too many comics, or I've seen too many movies, or played too many video games, or whatever. But to me, it seems that Baron Zemo really isn't doing anything unique or anything special to set him up. It's basically, he just draws an arrow and Bucky follows. And that's what I'm having some problems with. I am curious to see where it's going to go, because if Bucky Cap's in jail, what's going to happen to Captain America? You know, is Steve Rogers going to get the mask again, or is it going to be somebody else? And if it's somebody else, or is it Steve, then again, it's the public trust of who's wearing the mask. You would think if he did go to trial, people like Steve Rogers would come out and say, hey, this is the deal. And just the fact that it's Steve Rogers, that should satisfy people. But that seems like too easy of a cop-out for the story that they're building up to. So I'm kind of worried as to the direction they're going to go and how they're going to end it. I mean, I'm still going to get Captain America, but for me, I'm losing just a little bit of interest to it. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave it on the side. If you tell me what you guys think. Does it make sense putting Bucky Cap on trial? Do you think Baron Zemo's not putting enough effort into getting him in that situation? Let me know. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll have more reviews up.